These are the 5 biggest knife lies.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a new episode of DPK. Yeah, and you're thinking, Mr. Beast in the thumbnail? There's speculations that maybe most of his videos are fraudulent, that it's not truthful. And that made us think, hey, there are a lot of knife scams, knife
Lies. Big
going
lies
on in the knife world, which we know about, and which we are going to unveil today. And it's going to be more than you think.
So these are the 5 biggest knife lies. Lie number 1. Fake sharpness tests.
This thing, do you see that scale?
Oh.
This is a scale that measures how much force it takes to cut this specific wire.
We get a lot of videos from our audience sent to us. People that reach like 5 grams, 2 grams on this. And then we watch them, it's like they are cheating. They're cheating.
Martin, apparently a video of my face has gone viral with us trying this thing.
Yeah, and you reach like 27 grams, which is crazy.
Yeah, but the whole thing is, we know how to cheat this thing because we got minus 15 on this thing. Yeah. This is a brand new knife. Whoa.
It's really sharp.
Okay. That is actually so stupidly sharp.
Yeah, this is something that we will be very amazed on in a video, yeah?
Well, actually, I am right now.
Yeah.
79.
Okay, so this is a string, you can pull it out. Okay, I tension this again. I can put my whole weight on this to tension it. And now, this has a lot of tension on it. Way more tension than these pre-tensioned things. That's why we use this. 10 grams, there you have it. And that's how you cheat. That is how you cheat.
Let's grab the pre-tensioned string out of there again.
And that is why you should always just use the weight of the knife to slowly cut through that piece of wire.
Which is pre-tensioned. And otherwise you gotta do different tricks. So this, if you see people cut through this thing,
be skeptical.
Martin, grab out your DPK knife.
It's my DPK knife that I've been using for the last few weeks without ever sharpening it.
A brand new knife can cut phone book paper flawlessly. This is way thinner than normal paper. You try it with the DPK knife, which has been used a lot. Do you see it? It catches at the end of that paper. Now we try with a normal piece of paper.
See that? That's how easy it is with normal paper. Even this. Foam paper art. Paper art.
So on a normal piece of paper, if a knife is a little bit dull or has a little bit of edge damage, you will not notice it on normal paper.
A knife that cuts normal paper is generally sharp enough for the regular tasks still.
Yeah.
It just doesn't show how the edge worn with the use, as well as phone book paper does.
Actually, a pretty dull knife can still cut paper pretty okay. A knife which has been used a lot by me, but has not been sharpened a lot. I cut a side of the tomato off, place it on a table. I might cut the top off, okay? And then I just make a small incision. Then I just push on the tomato. Then I can just cut a piece off without touching the knife. See, look at that. It doesn't require a crazy sharp knife. It just doesn't. I mean, your knife has to be sharp to do it, but people are like, oh, as if that's a god level of knife sharpening. It doesn't cut through phone book paper. So be aware, know that these tests can be rigged, ladies and gentlemen.
If you have a really sharp knife and you get like this, I mean, this is a sharp knife, and look, you can get like these really thin pieces. It does show that it is a sharp knife.
Yeah, that is really sharp.
That is really sharp.
That is really sharp. This video is sponsored by DPK. You can now directly support the channel by buying from our web shop, dpkshop.com. If you like bushcraft and knives, we got you covered.
Collecting wood for a fire? We got you covered.
Fire steel or Zippo belt attachment, got you covered. Foraging pouch, budget-friendly knife sheets, silky saw sheaths. Damn it, we got you covered. Did I mention these are all handmade in Spain? You only care about knives, huh? I get it. DPK 0.25 micron is back to go what is beyond sharp. Now head over to dbkshop.com and buy what your heart desires. These ads with knives that do all these amazing stuff, like cutting through everything and still being able to cut paper, actually what the first line was, but
Yeah.
it is like an endless possibility of knives, and it looks godly because it can cut through meat, it can cut through bone, it can cut through everything. We've got a knife that we abused a lot in the video, the
Worked off gear Aries.
It has chips all over the edge, so badly that we actually have to resharpen it a lot, but it still is able to do this.
So look, that's 1 bottle down, 2 bottle down, 3 bottle down, 4 bottle down. All the bottles have been cut perfectly in half with a knife that basically doesn't have an edge anymore.
I'm going to show you an even more incredible feat. A completely ruined knife still cuts that tomato in two easily. And
Ja.
it still tastes good. Dit is waarom ik altijd wormpjes krijg, man, denk ik.
Neem een pil, want ik heb ze misschien ook.
Oh ja. So ladies and gentlemen, don't be fooled. Look into the knife you're gonna buy, because the video that looks amazing, there are all tricks. Shit, ik heb nu al jeuk van mijn wormpjes. China makes bad knives.
Not true. Not true. I mean,
I mean, they make bad knives. There are bad knives from China,
but
obviously.
Let's just say every country makes bad knives, but also good knives. And China is no exception. The thing with China is they are not afraid to clone existing knives. That's illegal.
That really is illegal, and I don't know what the policy is in China, but also because business is so good in China and all the factories in China are so big, they are bound to have a lot of scams there.
There are some really good knife brands in China. Like We Knives, Civivi, Sencut, you know, I mean, this is one brand actually, but they are known for making one of the better affordable high-tech EDC knives like this. Yeah, they are not meant for destruction or bushcraft or whatever, but they are known for having really well-centered blades in their folding knives. They always have like really smooth opening and kind of an unbeatable price point.
You might not like it, but a lot of American knife companies also outsource part of their production to China. And yeah, people don't like that, and maybe the quality has dropped a little, but for some people the quality isn't low and hasn't dropped because China is able to also produce high-end, high-quality stuff. It's just that it also produces scam stuff. I mean, there's not only one factory in the whole of China. It's not one business.
And basically, you get what you pay for. If you go to AliExpress and buy a 30 euro knife, it's gonna be bad. You know, don't spend your money on a cheaper clone of a more expensive knife. Just buy a good value knife. And that can be a Mora, but it can also be a Civivi or another good brand from China.
Next slide.
Next slide.
A strong knife is a good knife. People tend to think that.
Yeah. A strong knife can be a good knife, but a strong knife doesn't necessarily mean that it is a good knife. I mean, a good example, the Becker BK2 clone that we did was a very, very strong knife. We had a lot of trouble breaking it.
Yeah.
But it was a shit knife. I mean, one of our favorite knives that actually performs the knife that's best of all knives is a Puko.
Yeah.
Which definitely is not a strong knife, but it just excels at being a knife. That brings me to the part which also kind of combines with, you know, the cheating knives, is that a lot of this comes from geometry. You can make a knife very strong with geometry. While the edge retention might suck. You can make a knife very slicey with geometry, even though the steel might still suck. So one might think that steel is one of the most important things in a blade, but it's actually the geometry, because you can cheat a lot of the things you do with a knife by geometry. If you make a very thin knife, it will always slice. I mean, you can slice with a measurement tool. How do you say, what is the name?
A centimeter?
A centimeter. You can cheat with a centimeter.
Measurement tool, yeah. I do also want to say something, and that is a little bit about full tang. Because geometry is so important and not necessarily strength, you can also make a knife skeletonized in the tank without compromising on the actual strength and the functionality on the knife.
There's actually a knife lie within this knife lie.
All knives this size, probably 95% of knives this size are skeletonized without you knowing it.
For good reason.
Because otherwise the knife would be so heavy at the handle. This knife is skeletonized, it is already pretty heavy at the handle, and almost all knives have that, so they need to be skeletonized. And the thing is, it decreases toughness with lateral forces, but a handle does never face lateral forces. It always faces forces like this. And I know I sound like a science teacher now with how intelligent this looks, but this is the force it takes.
Downside to skeletonizing is minimal. The strength decrease is really minimal. So there was a knife lie within the knife lie. I think still that if you make a survival knife, that these destruction tests that we do, I mean, they don't show if a knife is good or bad, but it does show the weakness of a knife, if there is any. And I think it brings to light potential weaknesses for a survival knife, because if you have a survival knife, you should be able to throw shit at it without it breaking.
A good knife can be strong, but a good knife can also be weak.
Very true. Very true.
So that's all we got to say about that.
They're coming for me. Last knife lie.
Ooh.
That might be the biggest knife lie of them all.
Very controversial. People think that we make sponsored videos about knives.
Ooh, that's a disgusting lie. We have learned something with this channel, and that is back in the day, if a knife wasn't our taste, we would shit on it.
Yeah, big time.
But now, when a knife is like not our taste, like a good example, the Gerber strong arm camp knife,
Yeah.
This is a knife that we would never buy for ourselves.
No.
We don't like the steel, we don't like the looks.
No.
But if you look at the things it is good at, and for the audience it is good at, you can recommend it to those people.
Yeah.
And you can decide as the audience to, is this a knife for me or not?
If a knife is actually bad, we will call it out. I want you to know that it is illegal for a channel to make a sponsored video without actually saying that it's sponsored.
Yeah.
So sometimes we will have these segments which in 1 minute we will show a knife, and we will always say this video is sponsored by this or that.
Yeah.
And we got paid for that sponsored part.
We don't want to sponsor things that we know are shit.
Hey, you know what?
Never do that.
We got Kamikoto knives as a sponsor. They wanted to pay us quite a lot, like more than average.
Yeah.
But we blew it off because we saw that Kamikoto wasn't truthful, because we know something about knives.
They wanted to sponsor 5 videos, which is really interesting for us.
Yeah.
That's big money.
But we couldn't do it, and then we actually called it out, blew it off.
Even before YouTube had those guidelines, we had this kind of strict guideline for ourselves. Never get paid for
a video
review about a knife, because we have to be 100% objective. Honestly, if somebody would pay me €1,000 to review a knife, I would have a hard time being negative on it. So that's why we don't do it all.
Yeah. Our theory is that if we don't ever make a paid video about a knife, I mean, there's morally nothing wrong with it.
No.
If we just never do it for no one, that we can always stay as objective as we possibly can.
Yeah.
And that's why we have a Patreon, which you should join. Look, this giveaway.
Boom! That's a damn big giveaway. We are giving away the F1 Pro L-Max thanks to DBK. We are giving away a Valknieven S1 thanks to DBK. We are giving away a Valknieven A1 thanks to Blade HQ. A Mythos Humera Prominence thanks to Mythos Humera. A Morani Vakantsbol thanks to Knives and Tools. A Midgard X Volks Meskwaki thanks to Tools for Gents. A Cold Steel Formax Scout thanks to Cold Steel Deutschland. And an MKM Maximo thanks to MKM.
The winners are only announced through email and at the end of the video once a month. All jokes aside, we have stuff like the Patreon and the 1 minute sponsors in our video.
And our webshop.
And our webshop. To keep the rest of the video objective. Basically, you, the viewers, are making sure that we can keep our videos objective.
Sometimes we buy the knives with our own money, but we also get sent knives for free. And we always tell those manufacturers that we cannot even promise the review, So sometimes we have knives lying around for a year before we make a review. And we have to get the freedom from them to say whatever we like. If it's bad, it's bad. And we tell them that before they send the knife, so they know what they're getting into.
I think that was basically it.
new batch of DBK knives, 10-year limited anniversary edition, coming very soon. We'll keep you posted about that.
Ladies and gentlemen, hope you liked the video. Hope we could clear some lies for you away.
Yeah. And I hope you never send us a video about somebody reaching 5 grams on this ever again, because it makes me very angry. Look at my face.
Leave a comment on what other lies you've heard about or which you've seen. And see you every Thursday, 1 p.m. PDT.
Yeah?
Oh my god, we're kind of like knife cops.
We are.
Knife pigs. Yeah, let's go.
We take out the clones, we tell people the lies,